Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik, and this is a game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play-by-email match against KilRoy. He commands the Allied forces, for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is scenario 1, no modification, and standard 1-day turn setup. I'm picking up here some undefended leftover bases from the Dutch East Indies. We had yesterday the second battle of Darwin, or first battle of Darwin. It was no real victory for me, but it looks like that the forces of the Australians are crumbling slowly. My carriers KilRoy's carriers more or less each other, and my battleships and battle cruisers getting detected, but no airstrike on them. And KilRoy have here some small destroyers making bombardments, maybe soften up maybe give more or less trouble to my base force. And I think the main purpose was to intercept maybe cargo shipping or anything else. Here is the same, but I just left, so here's a French destroyer. This is only some small stuff, but it gives damage to the base and will destroy also supplies, and supplies I really lack. Good. At the same time, my Navy regiment walk up the way to Sebang. I also have a Navy guard unit, was finished catching up here all the bases, and now I make simply a amphibious assault. Unluckily, here's a 75mm coastal gun and hit my cargo ship. I didn't expect this. Now I have a damaged cargo ship, but I'm not sure if a 75mm shell will create too much damage. Maybe I will check it later if I don't forget it. This is again, my patrol boats get picked up by enemy destroyers, and we all know how this ends.
Greetings everybody, how's drinks? This is Orphan Anne from Radio Tokyo, saying hello to all of her dog faces and boneheads wandering the Pacific Islands. Before we start the music, the Japanese High Command announced today that the Imperial Navy has achieved another great victory near Rangoon, with the sinking of 2 carriers, a battleship, and numerous cruisers and destroyers.
So again, good news for the home front. The Japanese only lost 2 patrol boats, but inflicted heavily damaged casualties for the Allies. This must be here only a leftover side effect or side battle. 2 of my patrol boats normally on guard only for guard, but they're getting intercepted by these 2 destroyers KilRoy have still running here around and pick up. So good that my carriers and battleships are left already and had no surprise strike. And here is now the big battle. This is on paper a very balanced force, and we will see how it plays out. This is more or less what the Japanese was maybe hoping for, or at least this is what First World War was looking. These are 4 Congo class battleships, but only on paper they are battleships. In this game they are battleships. You can see I make immediately a hit on the enemy New Mexico, But my 14-inch or 36 centimeter shell cannot penetrate the armor of the New Mexico. And these are Congo class battle cruisers, because originally they are laid down for the Japanese in England, at least the Congo, and the battle cruiser design. And the British battle cruiser design was like here you can see 14-inch shell, so the same my ships have can penetrate the own battle cruiser armament. And again, now I have a hit on the New Mexico, but no penetration. So to make it short, the British design of battle cruisers was heavily focused on big guns and speed, compared to the Germans with high speed and battleship armament. So I have now the big other problem is normally that there was this kind of thinking like a battleship must always be protected against its own shells. So the American battleships can survive and withstand enemy 14-inch shell hits. So my battle cruisers will not really penetrate the American battleships, but the American battleships can penetrate my armor. Because the Congo battle cruisers are designed for battle cruisers, so they are to battle enemy cruisers, not to battle enemy battleships. But I was aware of this risk, and I simply hoped that maybe with a little luck and more skills I can still inflict some damage. And because I never really had this live fire test, it's good to see how this plays out here. Though I will not speed it up, you can see I have here the minimum escort. The minimum escort is always one escort ship for one main battleship, heavy cruiser, something like this. And KilRoy have two support ships for every battleship. This is normally, I think, the more efficient way. But more than two, I think, have also no impact mode. So one is a must, and two is, I think, the best. But if I have enough destroyers, I would use them, but I don't have them. So because KilRoy sunk already so many of my destroyers, that I have a hard time to feed all of my task forces. I'm not more sure if this is now nighttime, because the game really misses hard information sometimes. I think it's nighttime. And I'm also not sure if at that moment the battleships have already a radar. I cannot tell you. Can be that this is the first radar sets already. Again, I have a hit, but no clear information that this destroys something. But at the same time, I always see on my ships penetration. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a shell or a bomb. If you don't see penetration or critical hit or something like this, then it bonds off. The game will not tell you bonds off or something like this. It will only tell you if the torpedo don't explode, but it will not tell you if the shell have no real impact. Any kind of this not penetration will create, I think, one system damage. More you cannot expect. At least one of my destroyers was able to torpedo an enemy destroyer, so there's at least a small benefit out of this. And of course, because the enemy destroyer is now crippled and an easy target to hit. And the Mook Fort go down. My battle cruiser is still trying to achieve something here. Secondary battery hit is of course also not much. And the next 14 shell inch hit here, I only hope that there's no magazine explosion on my side, because this would be then the I don't want to get hooded. Yeah, belt armor hit but no penetration. What I need here is normally Japanese surface torpedo hits on the battleship. That I was hoping for. But at least I can damage the escort ships. Not that they really matter. Ladies in 43, KilRoy will have 100 additional destroyers ready. And the next 14-inch shell. Critical damage. So it's very clear that he is really here the focus of the enemy fire. And all I can do is I hit the ships, but all secondary hits and no penetration. Maybe it will create some fire, but the American fire control is also so good that, yeah, 2-3 system hits, not more. And deck armor hit. The only ship really with no hit so far is the Congo, avoiding everything, but also cannot achieve anything. Okay. Hiroshima was able to hand a heavy hit on an enemy DMS, so support destroyer, minesweeper. And the next 14 challenge. He is really in a very critical situation now. Haruna also get, I think, the second or third hit already. Okay, the 5-inch shell hit is only surface damage. Yeah, and slowly the distance increase, but still one more hit on my battlecruiser. And here is also the first hit on Congo, but this was not penetration. It starts some fires, but not have more damage. But keep in mind, I think the Congo already had some damage coming into this battle. He was able to make some emergency repairs in Truk the 2 days before. $19,000, so and hit again with penetration, explosion below bad deck. Secondary class hit, or secondary main battery, of course cannot penetrate. At the same time, the next 14-inch hit, penetrate, damage. So the American standard battleships are really well trained, and gunnery is good. And this is nighttime. I mean, the moonlight is nearly 100%. And it shows very clearly that the Congo battleships or battle cruisers have not really a chance against any standard battleship. It will not work. If you cannot inflict damage, but the opponent or the allies, I think this also counts for if there are now British battleships, not just at the same time, the Royal Sovereign class, Queen Elizabeth class, I don't know what they have all in the game. And especially Prince of Wales, I think they will always come out of this battle, yeah, normally with a better results. The only hope was really that I have maybe torpedo hits on the enemy. And yeah, I was normally not expecting to run with my battle cruisers in the enemy battleships because I have here also, I think my Nagato battleships with much better protection and more heavy 16-inch shells. If they run into this enemy battleships, this would be maybe more fair fight. So this is now super long range, 27,000 yards. And here is the end. Congo take 2 shell hits and Huana 4. Here is now official heavy fire, 5 shell hits, not heavy damage. So it looks like that the fire is strong, but the system damage is at least less than 50 or something. I don't know what moment the game will tell you official heavy damage. But all of my battle cruisers are at the limit, I think. Now there's really no hope more for use them to any engagement. I must return to Japan and fix this. At the same time, I create here many hits. Most of them, or at least half of them, are only secondary. So like 5-inch and 6-inch shells. And all of the heavy hits with 14-inch or 36 centimeter all bounce off. I think there was not one shell make a penetration on the end, 3 enemy battleships. I can only say, okay, I took 1 destroyer and damaged 2 destroyer minesweepers. But, well, if this was now a victory for me, I would say no. I can only hope that the carrier battle will have a more lucky outcome for me. And that there's no next engagement in the next 2 days. And that I can run with my battle cruisers. Because this is what they really can do. They run fast. Compared to battleships. Good. My Navy bombers finding ships in Marcus Island. And some other stuff. This maybe will need a little time. Because I have of course a little more scout planes out. Now, KilRoy detect my carriers. Bad weather is grounding my air force. So first some bombardment in China. This is the standard. And here is my carrier strike. Going for enemy destroyers. And some troop transport ships. Hit, but no explosion. Luckily there are more torpedoes in the water. next torpedo hit. But this looks not like enemy carriers or battleships, so this is more the amphibious assault group. I had detection before, and the AP sink already. Okay, but nearly empty. Most of the stuff is maybe already finished unloading, so I come maybe a little late, but at least I was able to kill this AP. Next strike. Only some dive bombers, nothing too big, so maybe there's only some cargo ship. And this is maybe only really one cargo ship. And I had already 2 hits on it. Yeah, 1 cargo ship, 7 hits, and whatever was on this ship is now dead. So, but no strike on the enemy battleships. I sent more or less my battleship northwest and north, and my carriers northeast, so it can be that I'm out of range. There's also many submarines in the water. Yeah. So my carriers are out of position, cannot attack the enemy battleships. I can only attack here PCs, destroyers. Good. Air Force out of Bangkok, attacking these forward British units. The Vincents are back. There are some small damage, but nothing critical. Good afternoon. There's still this Mayhem destroyer left. The first strike was focusing on the AP. Now I also can create this hit on the destroyer. Good. And the second hit is maybe already the end. Yeah, 3 hits and 1 sunk destroyer. But no additional airstrikes. So maybe KilRoy was with his carriers not in position. Our battleships and battle cruisers hit each other in the night, and I lost the battle. But at the same time, I was able to inflict some smaller damage on KilRoy's supply chain. Here's one of my rowboats getting hit by enemy corvettes. And at wake, I still try to find enemy cargo ships. They are here, but my subs are maybe really out of position now. Too many hits, too much damage. I cannot maintain my positions here. So, second battle of Rangoon. The fort go down to 1. Again, KilRoy can improve his defense power and my attack value dropping. I have here again many disabled units, nothing really destroyed, but for the allies it's the same. Most is only disabled and not destroyed. And the casualties are a little high for me. I was still able to blow up the fort, but I am also not able to really damage the enemy airfield, so KilRoy can rebuild his fort level. Maybe in Darwin I have better news. Fort is down, but again, not today. And I'm dropping heavily on my attack value simply because I'm running out of supplies. The defender is also out of supplies, so we are both at the end. The kill ratio is 1-to-1, and for me it's mostly only disabled, and for the Australian many are destroyed, so Darwin must fall normally, I think, next turn. Maybe KilRoy is down to 80 attack value, so I have still 10 times more attack value than KilRoy here in Darwin. And some bombardment, still hoping to hit me, but no. Yeah, so 77 to 992. But of course, as the attacker, you will suffer much more under supply shortage than the defender. So, but I still hope that I have so much raw attack value that it's wipe out KilRoy. And once I can kick him out of Darwin base, I think I can run him down. But I need supplies. But for unloading supplies, I won't normally take the base. Good. So, was some action this turn? Let's see first. Air activity. Nothing really happens. Casualties maybe over, I don't know, one of my army scouts or recon airplanes gets killed by flak, maybe over Rangoon. And a 0. Ops losses. Ship sunk. Official. 2 patrol boats, yeah, killed by these enemy destroyers. This is a bigger AP, yeah, that for sure. My torpedo bombers from my Pacific strike group was able to hit. This is a Mahan, gets killed by dive bombers, fine. Mahan class destroyers are, I don't know, they're okay. This is an Asa class of destroyer. Don't really ask me which one is better, or at the end they are both dead. And plus 2 smaller cargo. Anyway, this is my cargo ship. This was sinking. And this is a standard cargo ship. This was a single one. Gets killed by dive bombers. Good. In China, no big change of situation. Not really. In Rangoon I was able to destroy the next fort level, but I'm bleeding dry here. I really lacking maybe supplies here soon. I still have enough supplies, but again, my disruption is too high, so I must wait 2 more days before I can attack again. At least my tanks are pushing forward, and I arrived already here in the central of Burma. In Sebang there's really only this small base force. This base force was able to hit my cargo ship with a 75mm gun, but I don't see it. Here. Hit 75mm gun, but not even system damage. So I was normally sure that at least 1 system damage will be come out of this, but so you can see again, if it's not penetration or something like this, it's meaningless. Nothing more here to see. Yeah, Darwin, I'm very low on supplies, but I still have some supplies. But again, if you check, I think I also learned this, or I maybe misunderstood it before. If you touch a base, I mean, this is under Allied control still, If you touch your units and you see here supplies in hex, this is really all supplies in hex, means the supplies in hex plus your troop supplies. If you control your own base and you touch this, you can also see this is the supplies of the unit plus additional supplies. Or I don't know how because here they say calculation of 2238 supplies. If I touch this, it's also the same. Then I don't know if it's switching. I don't have the time to count this up. If you want, you can do it. But or maybe another example is here in Surabaya. Here are 11,000 and a little supplies, but you can see these are clever. These are never 11,000 supplies. If I touch the base, then I have here still 11,000 supplies. So there is some calculation like a hex base supplies plus army supplies. This is if you own the hex, but if you don't own the hex, then all of the supplies are this information are normally this supplies only from your units. I don't know if it's possible to have supplies in a hex. I don't know if it's possible to find somewhere. Here is no one controlling the hex. Then I cannot touch it. Then the game rules are sometimes a little strange. But again, there must be, it was confusing me always if this is included the supply units or, because later on I will have these issues here in New Zealand, but maybe we talk another day about this. So I was able to hold this, no immediately counter-attack. The one task force go north, the other one coming south, and I can switch the escort carrier and then I bring in my heavy guys. Nothing else happening here. Nothing happens in Marshall Islands, no detection. Because there cannot be much detection if enemies are all here around the place. Wake Island, I have still cargo ships, PT boats, whatever. I mean, the confirmation of scout information can be wrong. But there is some stuff in Wake, but I have maybe to call back my submarine. It's getting damaged again. Out of torpedoes. Wake is still too dangerous. I think like Midway it's too well protected now. I have here some PCs. This is my carrier division here. Source of Marcus Island and northwest of Wake. Enemy submarines are everywhere. Luckily they don't detect me. I have here one ship is here, maybe a AV ship, of course, to maybe support here the Catalinas running out of this base. Here is the battleship formation. These are 9 ships. Originally it was 10. I don't know more. It was 10 ships. I think it was 10 ships or 11 ships. At least here is this. I would say these are the battleships. They had this engagement with my battle cruisers, and my battle cruisers. These are now 2 parts because the other one is here. So here I had the worst outcome, you can see, but still all of these hits, I think there are 6 hits, they're creating this kind of damage, high system damage, and yes, the speed is down to 2 standard cruise speed, but still 5 max speed. Of course, with this kind of flotation damage and engine damage, you cannot run more maximum speed. Again, we can also see here that the armor belt is only 200 millimeter. And you can roughly say, very roughly, that a 20 centimeter shell hill will not penetrate this because it's too heavy. But everything like 25 centimeter, like 10% stronger than the armament will the armor belt will normally penetrate. Like 220 millimeter guns, 230 millimeter. So, and the 14-inch shell, you can see here 14-inch is the same like a 36 or 360 millimeter shell. This will simply really penetrate this belt. But a heavy cruiser with only 20 centimeter or 200 millimeter will nearly never penetrate this armor belt. This is construction. Make it strong enough to fight enemy battle cruisers, but don't engage enemy battleships. Tja. And the last ship, for some reason, the Congo get also a hit, but this spawns off, I think. And this damage was before. So no additional damage for Congo. Yeah. So I have this groups they break up. I will try to bring them back together, and I have now to run. The question is where to run, because I really don't know where's enemy carriers. Shitty. At the same time, I think where is my other battleship formation? Ah yeah, my Nagato battleships are more or less here in the center. So I go north, northwest, northeast. Yeah. This will be a little complicated to match or find a way to maybe get rid of this. There's two options. Maybe the first option is run south to Truk or run north to Japan with my battle cruisers. Link up my Nagato battleships with my carriers and maybe moving west and try to find the enemy carriers. Yeah, this is really... I don't have here scout information. I can only guess where is KilRoy going. Because I still missing... What I miss here is normally here a forward airfield scout plane base. But I was scared to really attack here because every airplane I bring here is always a risk that enemy troops maybe take the base. So I want first clean this base, then install base force equipment. I mean, base force equipment I have already, but I need a little more to run here with more safe feeling my airplanes. Good. So there was some engagement. All I can see here is this non-carrier stuff, so I really don't know where they are. But I can guess that sooner or later we will find each other. Thank you all, see you next time, take care, bye bye.